We are live from Cleveland Brown Stadium, Cleveland, Ohio. Ron Pitts, Jim Mora, Drea Avent down on the sideline. The big story just broke. Marshawn Lynch, the hot running back for the Seattle Seahawks, injured his back in pregame warm-up. He's there with the towel over the head. He has a scratch. And that could be a major, have a major impact on this game for Seattle because he has been playing very well.
You know what, Ronnie? 2 weeks ago against the Giants, he kind of regained that form that he had at the end of last year, and he gives them great energy. But Justin Forsett, Leon Washington, who you're looking at right there, those guys are both very capable backs. Not big and powerful like Marshawn, but certainly explosive in their own right.
Phil Dawson will get a set here in Cleveland. He's kicking to the second most dangerous kick return man in NFL history, Leon Washington. The first is on the other side in Joshua Cribbs. Washington hit inside the 15-yard line by Brown. Titus Brown hustling down on special teams. A quick look at Charlie Whitehurst filling in for the injured Tavares Jackson. Jackson with a pectoral strain, that's the chest muscle, in the third quarter of the Giants game 2 weeks ago back in the Meadowlands. So Whitehurst will get his third career start, even though he's a 6-year vet in the NFL.
And it looks like Leon Washington will take this first play here for Seattle. And then Cam Mora in here playing tight end. His first game back coming off PUP at 3 days of practice.
One of two last-minute roster changes for the Seahawks. Marigo's brought up as well in the backfield. There's a quick throw and a good gain on first down. That's Anthony McCoy. McCoy stepping in. He'll pick up 7. And a look at Charlie Whitehurst's numbers and that big win for the team going all the way back to New York and pulling out the victory. His numbers solid.
Charlie's a competent quarterback. He's not a guy that can necessarily win the game on his own, but he's competent.
2 passes in a row. This is Washington filling in for Marshawn Lynch, and Washington will drive forward for the first down. Hayden is there for the tackle along with Ward. A pickup of 4 and the first. Talked about Charlie Whitehurst, the surprise there. Washington stepping in as the starter right off the top. They'll start 2 rookies on the right side, and they'll go against 2 rookies on the other side for Cleveland. That's interesting. Washington right up the middle of the field. Ataba Rubin is there, a pickup of 3. The Browns on the flip side, they've gone from the 3-4 defense to the 4-3 defense, and there are the 2 rookies, Jabal Sheard and Phil Taylor.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun matchup to watch, is this left side of the Browns against the right side of the Seahawks, the rookies. You can see right now the strategy early for Seattle is a quick passing game. What you want to do when you've got a guy starting only his 3rd game in the National Football League and Charlie Whitehurst is get him comfortable early. And so quick passes, quick play action passes, easy passes to flat. Let him start feeling comfortable about himself early in the game.
A pickup of 4, 3rd and 2. Pressure isn't there. Plenty of time for Whitehurst, but nobody to throw the ball to. He'll do this one on his own and get the easy first down, pushed out by Hayden and Adams.
You know, Ronnie, people talk about Tavares Jackson and his ability to elude the rush and gain yards with his feet, but Charlie Whitehurst is the same kind of guy. He can get out of the pocket, he can extend plays, and he's good on the move. And what we're seeing here early, in addition to the quick passing game, is once again this no-huddle offense, which has been effective for Seattle here the last couple of games.
Forsett checks in for the first time today. He'll try the left side for a few. T.J. Ward there for the tackle. He picks up 3.
And the difference in a guy like Justin Forsett and a guy like Marshawn Lynch is that ability to break first tackles, the ability to get the extra yards, the tough yards.
Play has stopped. The first call of the day for Mike Carey.
Number 75, 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
That's one of the rookies, James Carpenter.
And this has been a problem for Seattle. They come into this game ranked 30th in penalties, and these pre-snap penalties kill you. Rookies are going to make mistakes. They're going to make mistakes on the road, but they've got to somehow find a way to move past that if they want to be a team that competes in this league at a high level consistently.
Jim, I've noticed the Browns start the game there with a 5 defensive back package, so they expected for the Seahawks to come out with 3 wide receivers, and there's a sack. Chris Gokong is there, along with 2 other Browns. That's a loss of 10.
Really a nice rush there by Gokong, beating McCoy to the inside. The Browns are not a team that blitzes their linebackers a lot. They're a fairly simple defense. They play fundamentally sound. They play fast. They understand what they're doing. But that was a good rush there, and that brings up a 3rd and forever for Seattle. They go to a 4 wide look.
3rd and 22 to be exact. Parker, ball is bobbled. Sack in the backfield, but let's check the marker. That's Jamie Mitchell.
There was no play before the snap. Delay a game. Offense. 5-yard penalty is still 3rd down.
So the Seahawks off kilter a little bit in their own no huddle, get called for the delay of game.
Well, new quarterback, running back that you expect to start, all of a sudden is a scratch. It's going to take him a minute to rhythm up. This is a screener drawdown. You'll see the Browns. Look at their linebackers playing deep.
James Carpenter.
False start. Offense number 75. 5 yards. 3rd down.
That's 2 on the rookie Carpenter. Let's go down to the 3rd member of our crew, Dre Avent.
Hi, Ron. Well, I got an update on that Marshawn Lynch injury. It actually occurred right before the game. It's a lower back injury. He was just doing his standard warm-ups, and then he injured his back. He felt it tightening up, and that's why he's not out there, guys.
All right, Drea, thank you very much. Good to have Drea with us today. So an adjustment right off the bat for the Seahawks.
And they just need to get out of here with a positive play, and that's why they're going to run a draw to force that.
You called screen last play. They couldn't even get the ball snapped. Forsett just gives the punter a little breathing room. And another flag. So already today, at least 3 flags on the ground. Call it 4.
Offense number 61 is declined. 4th down.
You know, I mentioned that, Ronnie, after the first flag, is that this is the 30th most penalized team in football. And sometimes when you're making a lot of changes like they have, and you're going with a young roster and you're on the road, that's going to be a factor. And it certainly hurt them in that drive.
Lemuel Jean-Pierre, the center, filling in for Max Unger, called there. Joshua Cribbs, he's always dangerous. Another flag. Cribbs looking for room. Heads upfield, goes down at the 30-yard line. Malcolm Smith hustling down with the tackle, 48 yards on the punt by John Ryan. Sloppy play early here in Cleveland. 5 flags down. We're waiting for Mike Carey and his crew to sort this one out.
During the kick, holding, receiving team number 21. 10-yard penalty. 1st down, timeout.
Dimitri Patterson. Colt McCoy and the Browns offense coming your way. 1st quarter here in Cleveland.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Colt McCoy, the 2nd-year man out of the University of Texas, the 3rd-round pick last season. This is only his 14th career start. 2nd year, Jimmy, but a lot of people will look at him and say, really, this is more or less his rookie year.
Well, it's his 1st year in this system. It's his 14th start. He's got a lot to learn at this level.
They'll be without their big bruising back, Peyton Hillis. So they open it up with Benjamin Watson, the 2nd leading receiver on the team. He'll have 5 on the reception. Last week, the Browns went out to Oakland, got beat up 24-17. I don't know that the game was as close as the score indicates, and really embarrassed in the special teams area. They gave up 2 touchdowns, 1 on a kick return and 1 on a fake field goal. This will be Hardesty. Hardesty gets whipped around, knocked down, and another flag, the 6th flag already at the 10-minute mark here in the first quarter.
Offense number 79. 10-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
That's Red Bryant. And a look up front at the Cleveland Browns. Hardesty getting the run today. Hillis, he's out with a bad hamstring, injured that hamstring last week against Oakland.
And they've struggled to run, and you'll notice they start 3 rookies on their offense. And you know what? They're still trying to assimilate to this West Coast offense that they're running. They've got a lot of new pieces in place. Colt McCoy's trying to find his rhythm, find some chemistry with his receivers. And right now they're just struggling. When you're a struggling offense, it's good if you can hang yourself hat on something. That's the run, and they've not been able to do that this year.
14 snaps, 6 penalties, 2 tight end set for the Browns. They'll throw out of it, quick throw, pressure in McCoy's face. That's Brandon Mebane along with Alan Branch. The Seattle Seahawks defense.
I'm really impressed with what they've done defensively. They've gotten big and physical along the front. They've got excellent mobility at linebacker. KJ Wright is an outstanding young rookie, but I'll tell you what, their secondary is really good. 2 big physical corners, 2 young active safeties in Thomas and Chancellor. This is an emerging defense in this league. Really a fun group to watch on film.
Ranked 18th overall, 7th against the run, 23rd against the pass. This is 3rd and long. McCoy in trouble, and he'll go down just inside the 10-yard line. David Hawthorne, who's taken the inside spot for the departed Lofa Tatupu, will force the punt for Cleveland.
Well, they bring pressure here. 5-man rush, Leroy Hill stepping up. And what you see with Hawthorne here is Hawthorne's in man coverage on the back here, 25. He just hugs up and gets a sack.
Brad Maynard now will punt out of his own end zone with a 41.9-yard average, gets it away. Nice high kick. Puts Washington on the other side of the 50, and good coverage by the Browns. Kaluka Maiava hustling down 49 yards on the punt.
Today's game is sponsored by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
Ron Pitts along with Jim Mora. And there's a look at Mark Whipple, quarterback's coach, talking things over with young Colt McCoy. Ball batted up. And Whitehurst recovers.
Both offenses are struggling here early, Ronnie, trying to find their rhythm, trying to find something that will work.
Seahawks struggling with the penalties up front. Looking deep, it's not there. Then that one's covered. Intended for Doug Baldwin. But a great job there by Dimitri Patterson, just brought in this year from the Eagles in free agency.
And this Doug Baldwin is a guy to keep our eye on today. Fine young rookie, fine. This guy is outstanding running routes, outstanding separating in man coverage, outstanding after the catch. Really well covered there, though, by Patterson.
The team's leading receiver, 2nd in the NFC for all rookie wide receivers. High snap, fake the give, looking for a comeback, going deep. He's got Obamanu, it's underthrown, and he can't adjust to the ball. Step for step was Sheldon Brown. And actually, Obamanu may have had a step on him going to the corner, but Whitehurst couldn't get it there.
Really well covered here by Sheldon Brown, using Adams as his inside help, just laying on the outside of Obamanu. And you're right, that ball was underthrown. I'm not sure if it was on target, though, if it would be caught anyway. That was really well covered by Sheldon Brown.
So the Seahawks offense off the field. They'll bring on John Ryan. Ryan puts this in the air at about the 32-yard line. He's looking to kill it inside the 15. Dropped. Cribbs called for the fair catch. He dropped the ball. 43-yard punt. Cleveland will retain possession or acquire possession at the 15-yard line. Colt McCoy had pressure early in his first series. We'll see how it looks this time out.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. By Nissan. Innovation for today, innovation for tomorrow, innovation for all. And by Verizon 4G LTE. America's fastest, most reliable 4G network.
Browns head coach Pat Shurmur, his first year as an NFL head coach, taking over for Eric Mangini, who was here for 2 years. Shurmur spent the last 2 seasons with the Rams, working with Mr. Bradford. That one late and knocked away. And, you know, from that standpoint, you like what Pat Shurmur brings to the table. He worked with Sam Bradford there with the Rams, and last year Bradford did wonderful things.
Well, first of all, look at the tree. Okay, the tree starts with Bill Walsh. Okay, it goes to Mike Holmgren. He's worked for Andy Reid. All right, think of the quarterbacks those guys have worked with. Steve Young, Brett Favre, Sam Bradford. Now we got a young Colt McCoy who's struggling right now, but eventually this guy's going to be a good player.
You mentioned Mike Holmgren. He is the team's president, and there's a nice run close to the first down there by Hardesty.
And that's what they need to get going on first down. This Seattle defense is very hard to run against. They are the best defense in the National Football League, yards per carry. Cleveland's struggling in the running game, but if you want to get your pass game going early, you've got to be able to run the ball.
Hardesty, second-year man out of Tennessee, second-round pick last year. Now look at Hillis.
Keep your eye on this right here. Big Red Bryant at 330 lined up on a tight end in that little frog stance. He ragdolls these guys on the run game.
Obagnaya checks in. That ball a little high, intended for Benjamin Watson. And the Boo Birds come out here in Cleveland. That ball's got to come down. That should be an easy reception.
Yeah, and you're looking at Red here. Red Bryant is playing the right end here. And he's not going to give you a lot in pass rush, as you're seeing here. He doesn't give you anything. But when you're talking about a guy that knows how to play the run, can take tight ends and big tackles and just treat them like rag dolls, you're talking about like a guy like Red Bryant.
Second, 3 and out for the Browns. Maynard, decent kick, a high kick. Fair catch called by Leon Washington. 44 yards on the punt, no return. 7:43, a sloppy game early with the penalties. We're scoreless. Seahawks head coach Pete Carroll, his second year, 9-12 record overall, but last season won the NFC West in a very weird season at 7-9. A hard hit there on Forsett, a pickup of 2. Jabal Sheard, second-round pick out of Pittsburgh, scraping down for the tackle.
Really a tough defense to run against. Cleveland is very sound. They don't do a lot defensively, but Dick Duron has a great feel for this league. Their guys play fundamentally sound. They use their hands well. They stay on their feet. They tackle well. They play well in the back end.
Eligible receiver.
Rio Giacomini checks in as a tackle, but an eligible receiver. 2nd and 8. Mike Williams, he was out last game against the Giants, but he's got a first down. First game break of the day. Let's go out to Los Angeles and Kurt Minnick.
Well, the Bears and Bucks going at it in London. Same old story for the Bears. Matt Forte, a lot of him. 32-yard touchdown run. Puts the Bears on top 7-0. And by the way, LeGarrette Blount not playing. Ernest Graham starts in place of him. He's now injured, so the Bucks in trouble right now. Ron and Jim.
Yeah, but they're okay in the division. On top there over the New Orleans Saints with a big win over the Saints last week. That one intended for Michael Robinson, incomplete. Niaba on the coverage.
Interesting here, Ronnie, is that Seattle, after their first 2 drives were so unsuccessful, has gone back to huddling up. And I think that's probably a good decision. Give Charlie Whitehurst a chance to catch his breath and become comfortable.
Offensive coordinator Darrell Bevel saying, let's do exactly what my partner just mentioned. Let's get comfortable. And Washington looks comfortable. He takes it on the other side of the 50.
It is so far just a game, a young team, 2 young teams, a lot of miscues. We've got a mishandled snap. We've got false starts. We've got dropped punts. We've got the ball coming out of the quarterback's hand. Pretty indicative of these 2 teams' records at 2 and 3.
3rd and 3, a pickup of 7 there by Washington.
Hey, fire one. Fire one. Fire one.
Here's the matchup I'm watching down here on 3rd and short, and that's Joe Hayden, who's an outstanding receiver, or defensive back, I'm sorry.
Sometimes he acts like a receiver, and there's a sack. Pressure. Jabal Sheard. We talked about the rookies on that left side for the Cleveland Browns. That time, one of the rookies gets home. He beat Carpenter.
Yep, you watch him right here on Carpenter. Just a speed rush up the field, gives him a little inside move, and nice club and rip. We call that the old club rip. Good rush. Carpenter has really struggled out at right tackle when he's been left on an island. Typically, Seattle has tried to help him, but eventually you got to take the training wheels off and you got to say, hey, it's time to grow up.
A loss of 9. Ryan forced a fair catch last time out. Cribb said, I'll watch this one go into the end zone, and it does. 57 yards on the punt. Ryan is busy early here in Cleveland. More Colt McCoy. And the Browns offense coming up. A rough day thus far for Colt McCoy and the Browns offense. He's had a lot of pressure. Hardesty for maybe 2. And you talk about Colt McCoy. I don't know that I've ever seen a guy win more games from high school on up through the NFL ranks than Colt McCoy has.
Well, when you talk to everybody around him in the Cleveland Browns organization, and then you talk to people that have been around, they say the same thing. This guy is a winner. Now, until he got to the NFL through high school and college, he only lost 10 games. He's already lost 9 in his career, and that's hard on him emotionally. You talk to Earl Thomas, the very first thing he said is, the guy's a winner.
The two played together at the University of Texas. Hardesty running hard, hit hard by Cam Chancellor. And here's a look at it. Jim Ned High School in Texas, 34-2. You say, okay, that was high school, but what about when you get to college? Well, 45-8 at that powerhouse they had going on down there at the University of Texas.
And a little bit different here at this level. When you get to the league, things change a little bit. When you're a quarterback in college, everybody's open. When you're a quarterback in the NFL, nobody's open. You got to fit the ball into tight windows.
He said completions were the most difficult part of the transition. No problem there. Shoots that one out to Hardesty. Hardesty moves the chains for the first down. He's had problems holding on to the football, but has no problem there. A pickup of 11.
And this is just a little play action pass. Try to sneak, come underneath here, get a guy out to the flat. If they're going to have success against the Seattle defense today, they're going to have to run the ball effectively on 1st and 2nd down, get into some 3rd and short, and then do some misdirection thing, because Seattle's corners are so physical. They're so physical up front with their defensive line. You've got to do some misdirection things to try to confuse them a little bit.
Troy out of the pocket, no place to throw. He'll run it. A peel back block there. You probably heard it. That was Greg Little, the rookie out of North Carolina.
I think one of the underrated parts of Colt McCoy's game is his mobility. His ability, number one, to stay in the pocket and extend plays, and then when things break down in the pocket, to do like he did just there and either get up and out or get outside of the contain, buy some time, and if he has to, run the ball and pick up some yardage.
Watching him on film, the kid's got very good feet. He moves around well in the pocket, like you're saying.
You know what? You don't win as many games as he's won without having some real strong characteristics, some great qualities.
The previous play, a pickup of 6 by McCoy. Hardesty will be about 3 yards shy of the first.
It is just really hard to run against this defense. Number one, they're big. Number two, they're committed to 8-man fronts. They're going to get an extra guy in the box. They'll use both safeties. They'll use Cam Chancellor down there. They'll use Earl Thomas. They've got an excellent understanding of their gap fits, their run fits, the runs they're going to see. They fit it up nicely, and they tackle well.
3-1, big dog. You want to go AB?
3rd and 3. Toss, Hardesty coming downhill. He's got a lane. Spins, gets the first down. Ball across midfield. A pickup of 6.
Good call here to get the ball outside. Nice block on the edge. Joe Thomas with a little push there, and just enough to get the first down. Hardesty is a competent back, but that run kind of showed me a little bit of the drawbacks of a guy like that. He didn't have the ability to put his foot in the ground and go downhill right now.
Too many steps to cut.
Too many steps to cut.
Good point. Browns with only 3 first-quarter points all season long, trying to change that. Hardesty again. So without Peyton Hillis in the lineup, Hardesty getting a heavy dose. That's 5. And Hillis, boy, been a lot of drama around here concerning him. Had the great year last year, everybody knows, on the Madden cover, and they talk about that Madden curse. You kind of want to believe it a little bit. Comes back, has strep throat, misses a Miami game earlier in the season. Then last week, out midway through the Raider game with a bad hamstring, and in the midst of all this is contract talk.
Yeah, a lot of things going on with Peyton Hillis. All that being said, they'd love to have him on the field today.
2nd and 5, bootleg, looking for the crosser, and it's late. Maybe thought a little contact there, Jimmy intended for Alex Smith. Red Bryant on the pressure.
Big Red. Now, Big Red, I said earlier, this guy isn't much of a pass rush threat, and I love his stance. First of all, it's like a frog stance. But look what he does to the tight end. Gets up the field.
Oh, that's going to hurt.
And a nice job here of pulling off on Colt McCoy. Because when you're 333 pounds and you're moving as fast as you can towards the target, it's tough to pull up.
Well, see, that's Texas A&M on University of Texas, so they don't particularly like each other anyway.
Well, this guy, you know, his father-in-law is Jacob Green, who's in the Seahawks Ring of Honor.
That's right.
This is a great kid, a very likable kid. I loved coaching him, and it's fun to see him developing into a very good football player.
A timeout called by Cleveland. You know, interesting point. We talked to Pat Shurmur this week, and you know, he comes from NFL lineage. His uncle, Fritz Shurmur, the late Fritz Shurmur, served under Mike Holmgren there in Green Bay as a defensive coordinator. He's handling the head coaching and offensive coordinating duties. And last night, Albert Pujols handled all duties. 3 home runs in a single game. He sat right up there with Babe Ruth and Reggie Jackson, the only other players to do that. Well, tonight, the Rangers will look to even the series in front of the hometown faithful game for the World Series tonight after the OT, only on Fox. And talk about being in good company. There it is.
You know, to go back to Pat Shurmur, difficult to handle both of those duties, but he's got guys that can help. He's got a veteran coaching staff. Brought in Gil Haskell, who works with Mike Holmgren, helps Pat a little bit offensively. And so the structure's in place for them to have success.
Well, McKnight checks in at the tail. Pressure up the backside. No one picked it up. Cam Chancellor, and a late flag. Chancellor with the sack. But the flag came in immediately. They brought Cam Chancellor from the safety.
Number 28. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
And a personal foul called
Leading
on
with
the
the
play.
helmet.
Leading with the helmet.
Well, we need to see this again.
He called it on 28. That's
Thurman.
Walter Thurman.
He meant 31 or 29, but it was
The
Chancellor.
foul is for unnecessary roughness on a defensive player. 15 yards, first down.
Boy, and they're trying to get Pete Carroll off the
There
field.
it is, leading with the head. Dropped his head, hit him right in the back. You can't lead with your head. And that's Cam Chancellor coming off the edge here. Free, unblocked, right here, I'm sorry. Free, unblocked off the edge. But you got to keep your eyes up. You got to keep your head up. They're so protective of quarterbacks in this league. When you drop your head and you lead with the crown of your helmet like that, there's a chance you're going to get called. Unfortunate because of very well-designed pressure. It got home free. Would have been a big play for the Seattle defense. And instead, it's 15 yards for Cleveland.
Boy, and Carroll was hot. He had walked all the way out to the numbers to complain. 2 officials had to come over and escort him back to the sideline.
Well, he wants an explanation from Carey. He wants to know exactly. And maybe he's just confused because they called the wrong number. Doesn't look like he's going to give an explanation right now.
Is that how it goes down there, Jimmy?
Yeah, I'll tell you when you're standing there, they look at you like, I ain't coming over there. I ain't let you cuss me out. I called what I called.
Time winding down here in the first quarter. So arguably the best drive of the day. The help from the penalty for the Browns. Hardesty spinning. And Chancellor, now he's mad. He's coming up whacking guys. That's a pickup of 1. Let's go back.
What they're talking about here is that he just see him drop his head right there and lead with the crown of his helmet. That's the top part of his helmet, and hitting Colt right in the back.
And unfortunately for the Seahawks, the rules are clear. I can't say I agree with everything that's called, but
I mean, that's a great rush. That's a good play.
0-0. That's the end of the first quarter. Fox NFL Sunday will continue and return to Cleveland after these messages. We had a chance to speak with our NFL expert, Mike Pereira, during the break, and he did confirm that was a lead with the head and an appropriate flag on the play. 2nd and 9 toss. Hardesty trying to make a man miss. Great job by the Seahawks defense. Allen Branch playing on the other side of the line of scrimmage.
Let's go back to the roughing the passer one more time, and you see clearly Cam Chancellor dip his head and hit with the crown of his helmet. Now, do I like the rule? No. Do I think there's intent to hurt the quarterback there? No.
Not on that
but
play.
The rule states you cannot do that. I like the pressure. I thought it was a well-designed pressure. You get a defensive back coming free to the backside of the quarterback. Old defensive coach like me gets fired up. I just wish he'd have run through with his chest.
11 plays in the drive. 8 runs. This is the 12th play. 3rd and 10. Pressure again. It's a good thing McCoy can run. And he slides just shy of the first down. They'll mark him at about the 31-yard line. Pressure on the play by Hawthorne along with Atari Bigby. A pickup of 6, but they're short.
Another well-designed pressure by Gus Bradley coming off the left side. But Colt McCoy shows his wheels there. Not necessarily outrunning Hawthorne, the linebacker, but getting away from the safety, Bigby.
So this will be 49 yards out for Phil Dawson, the longest tenured Brown. He was good from 53 in pregame warm-up. High snap, blocked, free ball. And it's recovered by the Seahawks. Red Bryant got the hand on it. Special team woes continuing for the Browns. Last week against the Raiders, they gave up 2 touchdowns on special teams. Now a breakdown on protection.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by UPS. Let UPS put the power of logistics to work for you. By Chase. Don't get shortchanged. Get your cash back with Chase Freedom. And by Triple Hops Brewed Miller Lite. Taste greatness.
So Big Red, I think he got all of that big body in there. Blocked the field goal. Good field position now for Seattle. Ball spotted at the 46-yard line. That one batted.
Let's go back to the blocked field goal. Big Red Bryant here right in the middle of your screen, working on O'Neal Cousins. Cousins steps down, but look at the effort by Big Red Bryant. I know this about blocking field goals and extra points. Sometimes you take it for granted. But those big guys up front that keep working like Big Red did, maybe they never blocked one in their career, but I know this, if you don't try, you don't block one. Right there, that shows that if you keep working at it, eventually you'll get one.
You saw Brown special teams coach Chris Tabor handing it to one of his players for not protecting right, Jamie Mitchell. Now, Jamie Mitchell has no problem getting up in the air. 6'6", 285. That's a tall target to throw over or between.
It might be a good thing for Charlie Whitehurst that ball was knocked down, because Sheldon Brown was in position to make a play on that slant.
Forsett checks in, 3rd and 10. The throw, it's caught, and a first down. A great effort there by Golden Tate. Out to Los Angeles for an update. Here's Kurt Menefee.
San Diego beginning to turn it on against the Jets. Phillip Rivers hooking up with Antonio Gates. Gates' first game since week 2. His first touchdown of the season makes it a 14-3 Charger lead. Ron and Jim, maybe his players get North Turner's back after the controversy this week.
Well, sometimes when you insult a coach like that, the players spur up a little bit. It looks like that's what's happening in New York.
That's Forsett inside. A lot of coaching drama this week.
Too much.
You got the Lions and the 49ers, Jim Harbaugh and
that's too much.
Sports going at it. Now
this is a players' game. Let the players get the headlines. Let the drama be about the
Number
players.
58.
Too much talking, too much action with the coaches. It's coach.
You're old school.
I don't know what I am. I'm a broadcaster right now.
Giacomini checks in. He's eligible. That's Forsett. Forsett hit hard just beyond the line of scrimmage. Ataba Rubin along with Ward, a pickup of 1. Ataba Rubin, fourth-year man out of Iowa State, 6th-round pick back in 2008, trying to clog up that middle.
And he does. He's a big, physical, inside presence on that nose, Ronnie. It's tough to block him with one guy.
330 pounds. I guess that's considered average for D tackles inside these days.
Yeah, especially when you're starting your first game ever at center, as John Pierre is.
3rd and 7, pressure late, ball's loose. Now, was it a throw or a fumble? It's recovered by the Browns. TJ Ward knocked it out. And Dimitri Patterson came up with it.
Watch the left side of your screen here. Dimitri Ward, number 43, coming off the edge. A safety from way outside. And Charlie Whitehurst has got to get rid of that football.
The ruling on the field is a fumble. And Cleveland's Brown. Cleveland's ball. We'll be back right after this.
Well, this is clearly a fumble. This is the empty hand rule. You'll see the arm of Whitehurst coming forward, but the ball's not in the hand. We call that the empty hand rule. Pete Carroll recognizes it. His coaches upstairs recognize it. They will not challenge that call.
3rd sack of the day against Seattle. Now play is stopped.
Well, maybe he will challenge it. He did challenge it.
Yes, he did. He challenged it late.
The ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by Cleveland. It's being challenged by Seattle.
I wonder why he waited so long to challenge that.
Pictures, reviews coming up.
Today's game is sponsored by the Ford F-150, the only truck available with EcoBoost.
All right, Ron Pitts here along with Jim Moore. The play has been challenged. We'd like to bring in our official Fox expert, Mike Pereira, standing by. Mike, your thoughts on this one?
After review, the ball was loose in the quarterback's hand before it came forward. Therefore, the rule on the field is confirmed. Cleveland's ball, first down. Seattle is charged with a team timeout and use of their first challenge.
We still want to hear your thoughts, Mike.
You know, you don't focus on the elbow, don't focus on the arm. It is all about the hand and when the hand starts forward. And he's got to have complete control of the ball. He's lost control there before it starts forward. That's a good ruling of fumble on the field by Mike Carey, and certainly a play that was confirmed in replay.
Mike, thank you very much.
Mike, that might be the first time we've ever agreed on anything right there.
We're on a hot streak, man. We're on a hot streak, Coach.
So 1st and 10. Browns retain possession. The high formation give to Hardesty. Nothing doing. Seahawks too stout up front. A pickup of 1.
You know, neither team has been able to take advantage of the opportunities they've been presented offensively. You think about the blocked field goal results in nothing for Seattle. Now Cleveland here has an opportunity to change that It's just a matter of there's an offense is explosive enough to get that done.
Looking for Cribbs. Batted away. And Cribbs is a guy who's complained openly about not being involved enough on offense. In fact, so much to the point where he said, hey, put me back on special teams more. Usually guys don't go that direction.
No, you don't hear guys ask to be put on special teams very often, especially the guys the caliber of Cribbs. And he wasn't talking about as a returner. He meant, hey, I want to cover some kicks. I want to tackle some people. I like that attitude. You know, I don't necessarily like the way he said it, but I like the attitude.
Cribbs leading the NFL in kickoff returns for touchdowns with 8. That's the best all time. Coy, 2 of 7, and a nice job of avoiding there by Greg Little, and Little will be about 2 yards shy of the first down. Second round pick out of Carolina. North Carolina, that is.
And there you go. There's the inability to capitalize on the turnover. And that is a problem for both of these teams today. It's been a problem all year for Cleveland.
So in spite of all the drama with the fumble, the recovery, the Browns still not able to push the ball into the Seahawk red zone and having a chance for points.
Right now, the most important players on the field are the punters, trying to keep it away from Leon Washington and Josh Cribbs, because those are 2 explosive players.
Movement. Let's see who this is on. This could be a first down. If it's on Seattle, it will be. Malcolm Smith.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense number 53 jumped into the neutral zone, causing an immediate reaction. That's a 5-yard penalty, and that enforcement results in a
Check
first
that.
down.
Heath Farwell may have moved. They have movement everywhere. Boy, and there you go, another
Penalty.
Yeah, well, the Seahawks special team, they come up with the big field goal block, but now you give it away here.
Yeah.
And the worst part about that one is you give them a new set of downs.
Yeah.
Yes.
So good news for the Browns. They reset it and have a chance for points. Hardesty not able to get through the gap. Great job of scraping down the line and a helmet-to-helmet shot there. David Hawthorne. Call it about 2.
David Hawthorne is a very good football player. You know, him emerging the way he did allowed them to get rid of another really good football player in Lofa Tatuka.
Yeah.
This guy's nickname is the Heater. I've never seen a guy bend or break more face mass than the Heater.
You saw an example of it right there. 2nd and 8. Quick toss. Trying to get Hardesty on the edge. You know what? This looks like a high school game. That time, Leroy Hill coming down the pipe, making the hit. Red Bryant involved as well.
This is like the Red Bryant highlight film here. This guy does a tremendous job here for a big man. Watch him skate down the line of scrimmage, disengage from the tight end. He doesn't make the tackle, but he strings that thing out and allows Leroy Hill to scrape over the top and make a play. Hey, you know what? Red, he might be headed to the Hall of Fame the way we're talking about him today.
A loss of 1. 3rd and 9. The crosser, great one-handed catch, but a great tackle makes it 4th down.
You got to go for it here. No, they're not going to.
Richard Sherman upended Evan Moore. You say go for it, huh, Coach?
I say go for it. Ball's on the 35-yard line. It's 4th and 4. You just had a field goal block. You're about to try a 53-yarder. Now, hey, if this thing goes through, that 3 points might be all you need. But I'm trying to go for it here. You got to get something going.
Oh, and the Browns screwed up on substitution. They lined up initially with 10 men. They get it corrected. Dawson, his first attempt blocked. This is 53. Nearly blocked again, but it gets up It goes, and it's good.
Like I said, kick it.
So in spite of the pressure, the Browns finally get on the board. First score of the day, 3-0. So at the 7:26 mark in the second quarter, we finally have a score of the Browns on the board, 3-0.
Well, the second quarter's been there a quarter so far, Ronnie, so maybe this is the start of some fireworks.
And that's also when Pat Shurmur said that Colt McCoy feels better, tends to play better as a quarterback. Dawson with the kick, a high one, 2 yards deep, Washington. Well, they've done a nice job on Washington. Joshua Cribbs hustling down along with Mayaba.
Let's go back to the field goal. First of all, watch Red Bryant. Watch the effort once again here by Big Red. We might be sending him to Hawaii with today's performance, but then cut to the head coach of the Cleveland Browns, Pat Shurmur, and watch the sigh of relief. Boy, do I know how he feels. Man, these points are hard to come by. And he's saying, thank goodness that went through, because otherwise I'm picking up the paper tomorrow, and they're asking me why I didn't go for it on 4th and 4 like that clown in the booth Mora told me to do.
1st and 10, Whitehurst. He's got an open man. Nice bootleg play and a nice first down. That's Cameron Moore, just activated off the PUP list yesterday. That's the physically unable to perform list. He had a toe injury, and they welcome him back with a nice catch and a first down.
Well, if anything's worked for them so far, it's that misdirection bootleg. They haven't caught them all, but it's been open.
Pickup of 11 on the play.
Real good offensive numbers so far.
They'll come with the I formation run. Trying the left side, and that's Washington. He'll get 3. Jackson in on the tackle.
This offense just really misses Marshawn Lynch, because this is a big, powerful runner that can move the pile. And these other guys that run for Seattle, Leon Washington, Justin Forsett, good players, nifty players, can make some people miss, but they can't move a pile like Marshawn Lynch can.
Forsett at the tailback spot. Bootleg, they opened up the series with that. That one thrown up for grabs, should have been intercepted by Adams. Ball intended for Doug Baldwin.
If you watch Patterson here on the coverage late, see him playing that outside leverage, just a really disciplined defense. We said this a couple times. With Dick LeBeau, you're going to get disciplined defense. It's going to be hard to make throws because guys are going to be where they're supposed to be. Patterson's supposed to be playing outside leverage on the receiver there because he's got a free safety in the middle. Counts on his free safety. Dick Duran once again dialing it up.
3rd down and 7. Whitehurst steps up in the pocket. It's caught, but I believe it's not caught. And even if it were caught, that was going to be shy of the first down. Baldwin not able to hold on. And that'll bring on the punt team for the Seahawks. So the Seahawks traveling back east 2 weeks ago with a stunner against the New York Giants, not bringing anywhere near the same type of offense. And Jimmy, I think you alluded to it earlier, without Marshawn Lynch in the game, without the beast mode, they don't have the same type of production. Nope. Ryan with a great punt. That ball might go into the end zone and will. Wow, he hit that one. Call it 67 yards for John Ryan. Colt McCoy and the Browns offense coming up. Well, coming up next, it's America's Game of the Week. Aaron Rodgers and the Super Bowl champion Green Bay Packers head to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. That's always a good one. Christian Ponder getting his first start in place of McNabb. Or you'll see the Rams and A.J. Feely with his first start this year going up against the Cowboys and Big D. It's all coming up next here on Fox. And a look, 6 new starting quarterbacks this week around the NFL. It's not working. Switch up the trigger man. I guess that's the theme, huh? First and 10 from McCoy. Raheem Brock is all over it. That's Hardesty. A pickup of 2.
It's, you know, I respect the Browns for continuing to try to run against this solid 8-man front that Gus Bradley's dialing up on first and second down, but I think eventually you need to get to your play-action game. They're playing you so tight to the line of scrimmage. They're playing bump and run all day. They're playing pure run. They need to get into a little bit of play-action game.
And there it is. Knocked away. But my question would be, Jim, can you go to an effective play action if you really haven't been running the ball effectively?
Well, you've got to try. I mean, they're trying to run the ball, right? So every time you try to run the ball, you force them to play the run. You got to pull it out of there sometimes and try to hit it quick. That one was a down-the-field throw, really good play there by Cam Chancellor, who's a really fine young safety in this league. But I still contend you got to mix it up a little bit on first down, even if you're not getting big yards in the run game.
That ball intended for Benjamin Watson. Chancellor has had a knack for making big plays. Here comes up with another one. 3rd and 8. Tight end sets up in the backfield. Quick throw outside. Obadiah, he's got a nice run. Inside the 45. Check it. Just beyond the 35-yard line. Close to the Browns' 40-yard line. Thurman saved an even bigger run.
And this guy here, Obadiah, he was with the Rams on their practice squad. So Pat Shurmur has some familiarity with him. He's only been with the Browns 1 week, gets in the game, makes a big play there for him. Has a familiarity with what they want to be and what they want to do offensively.
Just signed as a free agent off the Texans practice squad. Hardesty in the cutback. He's got a lane and a nice gain, about 8. Game break time. Let's go to Los Angeles.
And we go to London, where, yes, it's a Roy Williams sighting. His first touchdown as a Chicago Bear. 25 yards from Jay Cutler, and the Bears lead it 14-2 late the second quarter. Ron and Jim.
That was looking like a baseball score for a while at 7-2. Now it looks like a football game again.
Bears 3-3 in the division in 3rd place. Need a win overseas. Quick throw, that's Little, and Little will have enough for the first down. Sherman pushed him out. That's a pickup of 5.
That right there was a pure West Coast offense play. That's called sprint right option. Mike Holmgren probably drew that up about 25 years ago, handed the old piece of paper to Pat Shurmur and said, hey, try this one, and it worked.
And talking to McCoy, he said he's had meetings with Mike Holmgren, not just, you know, how's the contract going type of meetings, but putting on the film X's and O's on the chalkboard type of meeting.
Well, I don't know why you wouldn't use Mike Holmgren as a resource.
Bootleg pressure. Bootleg will not work with immediate pressure. Red Bryant, of course, is there along with Clemens. That would be Chris Clemens. 3rd sack.
Another misdirection play here. Watch Clemens off the left side here. And he's got to be unblocked, all right? You're going to turn him free on that with the idea that you're going to dump the ball quickly to the fullback in the flat. So you let him go, but unfortunately the fullback in the flat is covered, and therefore it's a sack. Chris Clemens is a very underrated defensive end. This guy makes plays in the passing game. I love the audio.
The give on red 2-8. And that's Hardesty up the middle for about 2.
We get, you know, sometimes you don't want to talk over a play because you lose some of the concept of what's happening between the time we come to the line of scrimmage in offense and the time the ball snaps. All the communication that has to take place, not only by the quarterback, but along the front of the offensive line, calling out blocking schemes, calling out protections, identifying the Mike linebacker, which determines where we slide the run, audibling in and out of runs and passes. It's really compelling to listen to all the communication that happens pre-snap.
3rd and long, the out. Nicely timed. And Massaquoi with the first down. Mohamed Massaquoi caught it and lunged forward to get the extra yards he needed. He was working on Brandon Browner.
This is a good throw. And, you know, Brandon Brown are playing off on 3rd and long. That's not his cup of tea. This guy is a press corner. He's a big 6'4", long-arm guy that can get your hands on him. But if you get him to back off like that, it's tough for a long-legged guy like that to change direction quickly. Good throw by McCoy.
Massaquoi really extended to get that first down. That's the 2-minute warning. 3-0 game. Browns. Under the 2-minute warning, 2 timeouts apiece. Remember, Seattle lost the timeout because of a lost challenge.
This is the time you take a shot offensively.
Here's your shot. There it is, going for little, but it's well covered, maybe intercepted. Nice job coming off the hash there. Earl Thomas and Thurman, both players shaken up.
Great break by Earl Thomas to get out there. And, you know, you say, why do you take a shot now? Okay, you got the ball in plus territory. You're coming out of the 2-minute. You need to get something going. You know they've been playing a lot of 8-man front, bump and run coverage. And so you say, hey, let's take a shot. Now, the indicator for me was the alignment of the backs, because typically in an I formation, there's about 2 yards between the fullback and the halfback. But if you look at that pre-snap, the fullback and the tailback were really tight. And they call that green in the West Coast offense parlance. Let's go back to the West Coast offense.
That's right.
They call that green right or green left flash. And that indicates we're going to go quick play action and throw it deep or throw a hit.
You need to be coaching still.
No. You can ask all those people listening back in Seattle. They say, we're glad he's not coaching.
That's Walter Thurman. Second-year man out of Oregon. And remember now, the Seahawks lost Marcus Trufant, their longtime vet. He is gone for the season, put on the injured reserve list this past week. So not only can they ill afford to have injuries at that position, but they've got some guys that are playing, I think, at a high level back there. They won't miss that.
Hey, I'll tell you what now. You talk about 2 of the finest young safeties in the league. Cam Chancellor. You know, you don't hear a lot about Cam Chancellor.
You sure don't.
Because everyone's talking about Earl Thomas. But those 2 as a tandem are as good as you can find in this league for young players playing well together early in their career.
Richard Sherman checks in down below with Thurman. Let's see if they go after him. Nope, fake the end around, hand it off. Hardesty fighting to get on the other side of the line of scrimmage, maybe one. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily go after Sherman. Sherman has been in and out of the game. He's got the experience. It's not like a rookie coming in.
No, Sherman's a good player. And all they were trying to do there is just get some positive yards to set themselves up for a 3rd and manageable. Didn't get it done. 3rd and 8. Watch for pressure here now to Gus Bradley. He likes to dial it up on 3rd and longer. He's got the corners to cover so he can bring the heat.
I said not like a rookie. Sherman is a rookie, but he hasn't played like it. 5th-round pick out of Stanford. Slant's not there. Went backside, waited too long, knocked away. Brandon Browner got a hand all over it, and Massaquoi is injured. Massaquoi on his feet, able to walk off.
He's playing straight man. Watch Browner up at the top. You know, I talked about his long legs, his long arms. He was playing off on that last 3rd and long. Not what he does best, but when you put this guy up and bump and run, he's able to get his mitts on you and ride you down inside like that. And then you saw him make a really nice athletic play at the ball, reaching around, avoiding contact, and knock that thing out.
Former CFL player, played 5 years up there. That ball shanked badly. Maynard didn't get very much of that one. And that ball will be marked at about the 25-yard line. Let's check in right now with Kurt Menefee.
Halftime report. We'll have all the guys talking about the scores and highlights from around the league. Tebow making his first start. San Diego and the Jets. That should be pretty good. Plus all the stats and fantasy stuff for you. Coming up on the Visa halftime report. But now, let's send it back to the games.
All right, Kurt Maynard there with the Shankalicious kick. 9-yard punt marked officially.
That'll hurt your average.
You think?
But they did keep it away from Leon Washington.
Yeah, he'll hurt your average too.
Yes, he will.
1 minute, 1 second left. One timeout for Seattle. Oh, an errant throw there. Maybe it's good it was a little high, because had it been caught, Baldwin was going to take a hit either way.
Well, it'd be good if they could get something going here in this 2 minute, at least get a 3 up on the board. But with throws like that, Ronnie, I don't.
Well, what do you do, Jim, if you're Cleveland now? It's a 3-0 game. Do you try to start pushing the ball down the field? You saw when they try to push it down the field as Forsett carries, they almost get it picked off.
Well, here's what they did: is they called timeout with 49 seconds
Cleveland
left on
30
second down. And Pat Shurmur, I like this, because Pat Shurmur's saying, hey, I'm going to try to get the ball back one more time. All right, and you know, a lot of guys, when they're sitting there, they scored 3 points in the first half, they'd say, just get me to halftime, okay?
Right,
get me
right.
off this field. And he's saying, you know what, I'm going to show some confidence in my offense. I'm going to call timeout. I'm going to try to get the ball back, and let's see if we can't score.
Ron Pitts, Jim Moore, and you know, so much has been said about, and even McCoy said this to us, he feels more comfortable out of the shotgun when he played in college, but don't ever say that word to a West Coast offense.
No, West Coast offense is not a shotgun offense, although they'll put Cole in shotgun on occasion. But you're right, he does feel more comfortable. He's not used to taking a 3, a 5, a 7-step drop and setting up.
Forsett trying the right side.
They'll call timeout right now. I like it. Here's the thing I like about that. Number one, you're forcing Seattle to kick the ball to Josh Cribbs. Okay, so that's a potential play. Number two, you're telling your offense that's struggled so far and your quarterback that's struggled so far that, hey, I'm going to give you another shot. I know you're playing against an excellent defense. I know you struggled, but let's get some more snaps in. So I like the attitude of let's continue to go for it. Let's not give up. They're going to have 36 seconds unless Cribbs makes something happen here to maybe make something happen offensively and feel good going in at halftime.
Flip it to the other side now. Seattle, you've lost Marshawn Lynch in the pregame warm-up. He didn't even get on the field for the game.
Well, that's huge. I mean, that cannot be overstated, losing a guy like that. He's such a powerful, dynamic player. And you see it hurt their run game, and that, in effect, has hurt their pass game as well.
Ryan has had some nice punts today, and I'll call that one a nice one because it got down to the 20 and then took a great roll inside the 10. But that ball is touched there. I believe we're going to have
well, it went out of bounds and then bounced back in.
Or it went out of bounds, exactly.
Yeah.
But let's see what they call. Whenever an official loses a hat, he's trying to mark something. Either the ball or a cover man going out of bounds and touching the ball first.
Yeah, typically when an official takes his hat off, that indicates that an eligible receiver has gone out of bounds. In that case, I think what the official was trying to do is just mark the ball, but they should have just, as soon as it hit out of bounds right there.
Well, yeah, the ball's out of bounds.
It's outside the white.
It's well
it's almost
outside,
in row
yeah.
3.
I'm right here, brother. Right here.
First and 10 throw. That's Ogbonnaya, and he's got 5. 28 seconds left here in Cleveland. A slow offense game. Marshawn Lynch injured in pregame warm-up for Seattle. They've had to go by committee along with Forsett and Leon Washington. Some big plays on the defensive side. They've been able to get to Colt McCoy in a variety of ways. But the offense has not been able to put the ball into the end zone or through the uprights. McCoy out of the pocket. He'll have the first down, gives it up. Slides close to the 40-yard line. No timeouts left, though.
They're running out of time here.
Wasting valuable time, yeah. It's incomplete. The clock showing 0-0.
I didn't understand that strategy there. They started in a 3 wide receiver set, and then they went back to base.
On the game clock. 1 second.
That's the end of the first half. We've got a penalty
Here, so just interesting. I don't understand it. I'm sure they have a reason.
So they put 1 second back on the clock, and here is the ensuing play as a result of that 1 second.
And those are those empty yards that show up on the stats, and everybody says, man, they're sure not very good against the pass. That play didn't mean anything. Who cares about that? Those are meaningless empty yards.
So a 3-0 game. Both teams came out in the first quarter and just couldn't get it going. And really, for all intents and purposes, they still haven't been able to get it going. Some good play on special teams by the Seahawks. They've been able to block a field goal. But it still goes back to one thing, defense stopping the offense.
Well, it's 2 good defenses.
Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. Ron Pitts, Jim Mora, Drea Avent set for the second half kickoff. And Jimmy, I threw this out. We kind of chuckled at it, but do you think the Seahawks should go for an onside kick here?
I wouldn't put it past them. I mean, why not? I mean,
what have you got to lose?
Yeah, they're stuff in Cleveland. They're not gonna. But
neither team is able to move the ball. The Browns have not shown that they can sustain a drive.
It's too bad that didn't count as 3 points.
It's almost like at this point you just want to try to secure the ball.
Well, somebody's going to get something going eventually. Okay, this is the NFL. These are good players. Now we just learned that Mohamed Massaquoi is out with a head injury, so that's going to further hamper Cleveland's ability to move the ball. But look for a big special teams play, look for a turnover, something like that to kind of propel one of these teams forward.
Well, they're going to need it because conventional offense just has not done it. The Seahawks defense has played well, particularly up front. Greg Bryant has made a lot of plays. They'll start off with a dose of Hardesty, and he's tackled by Mebane after a gain of 2. Let's go down to Drea Avent.
Hi, Ron. Well, I spoke to Coach Carroll, and he said he's happy with the defense and the pressure they are getting on Colt McCoy. But he said offensively, yeah, we don't have Marshawn, but we have to stay calm. We have to mix things up, regroup, and make things happen on some of these drives. And, of course, as Coach Shermer is concerned, he said, I asked him straight out, what is the key to limiting 3 and outs and getting more out of drives? And he said, we need to do better on first down, but our defense is the bright spot. They are keeping us in this game, guys.
Thank you, Drea. 2nd down and 8. Quick throw coming. Cribbs juggles it, can hold on.
And those are the plays when you're struggling on offense that you have to make. Here's Cribbs, big-time playmaker. When he gets the ball in his hands, he can do great things. He's got to make that play. I mean, there's no excuse for not making that catch. Interesting point here that Drea brought up. Missing Marshawn Lynch and how it's hurt the Seattle Seahawks offense. Well, Cleveland's facing the same thing without Peyton Hillis. So you're talking about 2 big-time runners not playing in this game, and you're seeing the effect it's having, not only the ability to run the football, but their ability to throw the football because there is no run threat.
John Greco, so guard is out as they throw and catch this one, and that'll be enough for the first down. That's Joshua Cribbs. Cribbs holds on.
Something you didn't see there a lot, Ronnie, is you saw Cleveland in a West Coast offense is typically on 3rd down. They go to 3 receivers, 1 tight end, and a back. Okay, there they were in a 2-back set with a tight end and 2 receivers, and they're doing that because of the pressure that Seattle's able to generate on 3rd down. So they've got to be more protection conscious.
1st and 10 throw, the quick out. That one's caught. 2 receptions in a row. That's Greg Little.
And not only 2 receptions, 2 really good throws to the outside on time with accuracy. And that's what Colt McCoy can do if you let him get in a rhythm.
John Greco is injured. He's the right guard. He is out. He was out for a few plays. Now he checks back in. Sean Laval is the guard that was out with the injury. Mohamed Massaquoi has a head injury. His return is questionable. That nearly picked off. Richard Sherman.
Yeah, that right there, you heard me say, oh no. And simply because that was once again sprint right option. And so Colt's got the ability to either throw it to the receiver running the flat route, or run it or get rid of it. And what he did there is he tried to throw it down the field. I had a little flashback right there.
Those flashbacks are good.
Those flashbacks are not good. Okay, because typically your flashbacks are not of positive plays. They're of negative plays that have happened to you in your career.
But nobody else knows that except you. 3rd and 4. The corner route is wide open by Moore. Evan Moore, the third-year man out of Stanford, who spent 2008 on Green Bay's injured reserve list, coming up with a nice play here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, you might ask yourself right now, is the injury to Walter Thurman hurting these guys? You know, you got Richard Sherman working over there on the left side, and they've gone to that side now for 3 straight completions.
16 yards on the pickup. We'll go back to the run game. A hold there for a second, then closed up quickly for Hardesty. Clinton McDonald on the tackle.
You know, Ronnie, you just bring up that's a great statement. A hole there for an instant. And in the NFL, the holes are only there for an instant. And so you've got to have a running back that can hit that hole in an instant. And right now, Cleveland doesn't have that running back. That running back is over there with the hat on and the sweatshirt on that says Cleveland Browns instead of saying number 40.
They're talking about Peyton Hillis. Hillis inactive today with a bad hamstring. Pick up a 3 on the play before. Hardesty trying to get outside. Brandon Mebane, along with Bryant, all over the field up front today. A loss of 1.
This Seattle defense has played well all year. There's a look at Gus Bradley, their defensive coordinator. Gus worked for Monty Kiffin, so you understand kind of where his roots are.
The first thing I think of is cover 2.
Well,
Tampa
but they're
2,
not a cover 2 team.
You know,
they're an under defense, which means they're going to stack the line of scrimmage. They're going to play a lot of man-to-man. The great thing about Gus is he's not stubborn. He's going to adapt to what his players do best, and you're seeing that this year, the way he's installing and inserting these young players and having success with them.
3rd and 8 slant, so the quick game starting to work, and some run after the catch. That's little fighting for the first down.
And some emotion. And here's Little here working outside and just gets the inside. You know, Thurman, we talked about him being a really good bump and run corner, all right? But he's a long-legged guy, and sometimes when you're a long-legged guy and teams are running the quick stuff on you and you're facing a receiver that's got a little more quickness than you do, it's tough to stay inside like you're supposed to there.
And an injured Seahawk. We'll check on him when we come back. That's Cam Chancellor.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. By Toyota. And by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
Tight end Benjamin Watson for the Browns walked into the tunnel. We'll try to get an update on him. Browns moving the ball. Seahawks bringing down 8-man front. Obagnaya inside. And another look at the Chancellor injury.
Watch Chancellor coming in here and his leg gets caught, left leg there. Boy, that's not the kind of position you want your leg to be in. But he'll be back. This is a tough kid now. And there's his replacement, Bigby. Good player. Not a lot of a drop-off. Not as physical, though, as Cam Chancellor.
Yep.
Bigby coming in as a free agent from Green Bay. They're the last 6 years. Plenty of time for McCoy. And it's picked off. Yes. A deep drop by David Hawthorne. Hold on.
There's no foul on the play. First down.
No flag. Picked up. A change of possession and a big interception in the red zone by David Hawthorne. That's his 5th career. An apparent interception by Hawthorne, but it has been challenged by Cleveland. And the challenge would be, did he have possession? He took some steps before he went out of bounds. Maybe a bobble. Let's see.
Well, he certainly didn't catch it clean, but that's one reason that he's a defensive player.
Oh.
There's one attempt. There's another attempt.
Right now, he's got
one
if he
down.
Gets his foot down.
There's 2 down. That's a
that
catch.
looks clean.
It's a really well played by David Hawthorne, and not a good decision by Colt McCoy to throw this ball. I don't know what he was trying to get out of it, but it's a young guy mistake. You're just going to see some young guy mistakes when you're going with a quarterback. Remember now, this is his 14th start in the NFL, and you got to give him some time to develop. I understand he played a lot at Texas and he won a lot and he played in big games and you drafted him high and all those things. Remember, a guy like Aaron Rodgers, he sat for 4 years before he even saw the field. So I don't think it's fair to expect too much from this guy right now. I had someone ask me the other day, said, well, what's wrong with Colt McCoy? I said, what do you mean what's wrong with Colt McCoy? He's a good football player. They said, well, he's not doing what Cam Newton's doing down in Carolina. I said, well, what's their record? Whose team's got the better record? The objective is to win football games. And I think with this guy, you've got a guy that is a winner, a guy that's able to overcome adversity like that decision and that throw right there. I think they got a lot of confidence in him. I think their players have a lot of confidence in him. We showed you earlier the graphic of his record from high school through college. Shoot, he lost 10 games in high school and college. He's already lost 9 in his career here.
Cleveland is challenging the ruling on the field of an interception. After review, the ruling is confirmed. After the bobble, the receiver got 2 feet down inbounds with control. Interception stands. First down. Cleveland is charged with their first team timeout and their first challenge.
And Jimmy, this is a deep drop by Hawthorne there. And remember, he is the middle linebacker, the Mike linebacker, as they say, but he comes up with the ball, a nice pick.
Yeah, when you have a Mike linebacker like Hawthorne, you can put him in man-to-man coverage on a tight end like that and feel comfortable he can get it done. That says a lot about the kid.
So Seattle's offense getting back on the field. Thus far, it has been all Seattle's defense on the field. 49 plays the defense has been on. Quick throw outside, and it's caught. And a hard hit. Anthony McCoy caught the ball, picks up 3.
They're going back to their no huddle here.
Did you feel they got away from that a little early? Or
Well,
was it the right time?
I think they needed to do that to let Charlie feel comfortable.
2nd and 7, give to Washington. Washington gets out of the box, puts his head down. He'll be about a yard or 2 shy of the first down. That's Chris Gokong on the tackle. Browns linebacking core without the veteran Scott Fujita. Third and 2. Throw over the middle, and it's dropped. Couple drop balls today. McCoy can't hold on to that one, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Well, that's where they miss Zach Miller, because Zach Miller is going to make that catch. Zach Miller's a Pro Bowl guy. He's going to come up with that catch. And even McCoy, you got to make that throw. When you got a guy starting only his 3rd game in the NFL, somebody's got to help him. I mean, help the guy. All right, he can't do it by himself. We know that. Help him. Make a catch. Make a tough block. Make a tough play. Protect him.
Somebody make a play. Seattle's hurry-up offense has resulted in 3 possessions, 3 punts. Cribbs dancing, then gets blasted. Atari Bigby subbing in for Chancellor, hustling down on special teams, 50 yards on the punt. 3-0 Browns.
Game is sponsored by Verizon. Get coverage of every NFL game on NFL Mobile. Call ** NFL from your Verizon phone to get NFL Mobile.
And a look at the ball control for both teams. Boy, 50 plays for Cleveland. That means, as I alluded to earlier, Seattle's defense is on the field a lot. Speaking of back on the field, Cam Chancellor shaking up a few plays earlier. He is back into the safety spot. Everything short, and it's complete. That's good for 5. A marker is down at the 35-yard line.
Illegal formation offense. The tight end was covered up, making him ineligible. It's a 5-yard penalty. It's still first down.
Let's go down to Drea Abent.
Hi, Ron. Injury update for you on Browns tight end Benjamin Watson. He's out for the rest of the game with a head injury. And remember, Massaquoi is out with a head injury as well. Both have left the field, guys.
All right, thank you, Drea. So some switching going on up front. Hardesty. Boy, it's been like that all day for him. Maybe one. David Harthon in there for the tackle. Out to Los Angeles in an update.
Marion Barber has played 4 games for the Bears. He's rushed for 3 touchdowns, including this one in London against the Bucks. And right now it's 21-5, Chicago in firm control in the third quarter. Ron and Jim.
It's good to see him get going. The problem there is he's on my fantasy team, and I didn't start him this week.
That's the problem, huh?
Well, for me it is. Not for the Bears, it's not.
Problem is offense. 2nd and 14. Both teams struggling in that department. Pressure. Thomas backs off. Still no place for McCoy to go. Somehow gets 2 yards. He is now a runner and takes the hit. Maybe he fell forward for 3. Chris Clemens on the early pressure.
You know, you appreciate the way that he ran it up in there and fought for the extra yard, but boy, you just don't want to see a guy taking these kind of hits, not a quarterback.
Well, that's
when you're a defender and you've got a shot on a quarterback like that, you take it. You take it.
You saw Hawthorne lowering his shoulder. That's a freebie. 3rd and 12. Screen backside, chased down nicely by Clemens. Great play in the open field. He rounded up Obignaya.
Nice job by Clemens there. You know, 3rd and long is typically a screen or draw down. Not necessarily 3rd and 11, but when you watch Clemens here, I mean, he just sniffed it out. 2-back set. Felt the deep set by the offensive tackle, shut down his rush and played the screen. That's just smart football by him.
McCoy a bit shaken up on that one. Maynard will punt it away. Washington back deep. Washington will have to battle the sun. The way that sun is set this time of day, you could see putting his hand up. Fights it, catches it. There goes Leon Washington.
See ya.
One man to beat, and he'll have him beat. 81 yards, slows down late. A late flag. .81 yards on the touchdown by Washington.
Ronnie, I saw what looked to be an illegal block in the back. I wasn't sure that they were going to call it, but it took him a minute to get the flag out of his pocket, but they made the call, and that one's going to come back.
During the return, illegal block in the back on the receiving team, number 35. 10-yard penalty to keep the ball. First down.
That's the cornerback, Kennard Cox. And that would have been the first career punt return for a touchdown for Washington. He's known as the kick return guy. But it all comes back after the push in the back. Oh, boy, I don't know. Might have been a little flop there.
Here's Kennard Cox on James Dockery. You saw that this is an awful, let me say it again, awful call, and it's a game changer.
So instead of the touchdown, they'll have to air it out, and there you go. They throw the pick.
Yeah, you know, look, you got to be able to overcome those things. But that's just an example of the officials having too big of an impact on a football game right there. And I'm not absolving Charlie Whitehurst of that interception, but come on. If you're going to call it, make sure you see it.
So the first interception of the year for Brown. The vet brought in a trade from Philadelphia last year. Nothing game here at the 6-minute mark in Cleveland. We just had an interception. Sheldon Brown. Hardesty with some hard yards up front. That'll be at least 7.
Ronnie, let's go back to the block in the back here, okay? And, you know, these are big plays in football games, and there is no way in the world that that is a block in the back. That's James Dockery falling down. I don't know if it's, you want to call it bad karma or whatever, then you come back the next play and you throw the interception. And these are just big game changers. And I said, hey, the officials shouldn't have that much impact on a game, and they shouldn't.
They'll mark it officially a gain of 6. Smith sets up in the backfield. Play action. McCoy out of the pocket. Pushed out of bounds at about the 27-yard line. He'll be about 2 yards shy of the first. KJ Wright on the push. You gotta pull that tundra out of your face mask.
Cleveland will attack, you know, if they're thinking like I'm thinking. They want to come over here to the left side of the Seattle defense and go after Richard Sherman. And they've got cribs on him out here. It's a matchup to watch here.
See if we can peek the coverage. It looks as though he's got a safety behind him. Nope. He's playing the short zone, and it's knocked away. Second nice play in a row there by Hawthorne. He had the interception in the series earlier. Let's go out to Los Angeles in the game break and Kurt Menefee.
It's only week 7, but Cam Newton already setting rookie records. This is 7th rushing touchdown of the season. Ties Vince Young for the rookie record for an entire campaign. Right now it's 16-13, Carolina on top of the Skins. Ron and Jim.
Panthers looking for that second win, 1-5 at the bottom of the division, but when you've got that guy, you've got some hope. Flag down. Washington gets away from it, takes a great roll for Maynard, and it will go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. 59 yards on the punt, but let's check out the flag.
An eligible receiver out of bounds went out on his own. It's a 5-yard penalty against Cleveland. Seattle's elected to take it at the previous spot and re-kick after a 5-yard penalty. Fourth down.
Re-kick coming up. Well, last night, pivotal game 3 of the World Series. Albert Pujols with a strong night, a historic night. 3 home runs along with his 5 hits and an offensive explosion, to say the least, for the St. Louis Cardinals. Tonight, the Rangers look to even the series in front of the hometown folks. Game 4, World Series, right after the OT on Fox. We already talked about his record-setting night, joining Babe Ruth and Reggie Jackson as the only players in World Series action to hit 3 home runs in a single game. And this postseason, of course, on the other side, Nelson Cruz, he brought out the lumber as well.
Well, Pujols, he scored as many points last night on his own as have been scored today.
So a re-kick. Maynard, I don't know if a re-kick is necessarily good when you're kicking to that guy who's already returned one that was brought back.
Well, that's why,
penalty.
And that's why you like the decision of Pete Carroll. He could have opted to take the 5 yards from the end of the last play.
Yeah.
Instead, he said, heck no, man, let's back him up 5 and let him kick to this guy again, especially after the play that he just made. You know, it's called back because of the phantom.
The phantom.
Block in the back.
That's right. You know, a lot going on in Big D tonight. We've got our World Series here, Game 4 coming up that everybody's going to watch here on Fox, and then the Dallas Cowboys and the Rams, they're playing down there as well. What's your pick in baseball?
Baseball? I'm a football guy, man. I'm going to watch it tonight because I like Fox, but I want Pujols as my tight end.
You think he could seal the edge for you?
Better than it was sealed on that play.
No edge sealed at all. Washington knew it. He got around the corner for a nice run on first down.
Well, that's one thing he's got is he's got speed. If you don't put an edge up on this guy, he's going to make you pay. We saw the great punt return that was called back. Guy's also a good runner. He just needs a little space.
As a Jet a few years ago, had a huge injury, a compound fracture of the leg. A lot of people thought he'd never play again. Came out to Seattle last year in a trade and really has been outstanding. He gave them that special teams pop that they've missed, and now he's giving them that running back pop, that backup pop that they would have missed today without Marshawn Lynch.
He's a diverse player. He can do a lot of things well, but you don't want him to be your every down back because he's just not a big, powerful man that can take the pounding that an every down back takes. But he's a good player.
Pump and go. There it is, wide open, a breakdown into coverage. Sidney Rice, who's been quiet all day, comes up with a catch. That's his first catch of the day.
They're playing a two-deep zone, all right? They're playing a two-deep zone. If you watch the safety there, Ward, he gets sucked inside to the linebacker and leaves Sidney Rice all alone on the outside for his first catch of the day. For a veteran defense, for a well-coached defense, those things shouldn't happen.
Rice having big days against AFC teams. 3 touchdowns in his last 4 games against AFC opponents. Might look to him as they enter the red zone here. Timeout called by Cleveland. They're down to 1, trying to get things straightened out. Hey, don't forget to get coverage of every single NFL game with NFL Mobile. Call ** NFL right now. Jim Moore's got his phone out. He's doing it right now, live on the air.
Look at Marshawn Lynch out there coaching him up. You love to see a guy that's not playing, that expected to play, out there getting involved with his team, firing them up. They miss his energy on the field, but he's still involved, you know, and you appreciate that when you're a coach.
This is the first trip into the red zone today by either team, if you can believe that. Yeah, he's still got to have the ball under his arm. Even though you're not playing, hold on to the ball. And the Seattle Seahawks defense that forced 5 turnovers 2 weeks ago in New York against the Giants. They've kept up their end of the deal until the offense could get healthy and make some plays. Offense has made a play. They're down knocking at the door. Boot looking backside. Rice. Not sure if he even got one. Nice open field tackle there by Joe Hayden. No gain on the play.
It's really well played by Hayden. Everything tells you that the play is going to the defensive left, and then Whitehurst pulls up and throws it back to a really good playmaker, and Sidney Rice on the right. But just a nice open field tackle here by Hayden.
Sidney put the move there on.
And Rice got to be careful with the ball.
Yeah. Quick handoff, Washington. Boy, he was headed to the end zone. Flag is down. Igataba Rubin may have saved the touchdown. Might have a face mask. I guess that's a fair trade. Take the face mask instead of the 6 points.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Well, he hit him in the face. He didn't grab it. In the old days, that would be an inadvertent face mask, but he certainly got his hand on the face mask.
Reports as an eligible receiver.
You're a big guy like that, and you're engaged with an offensive lineman. You got to get off that block, and then a smaller guy comes through that hole. It's tough to get your arm down low and make a tackle where you're supposed to make it.
Forsett stopped his feet right when he caught the ball or got the handoff. As a result, he runs into a pileup and no gain.
I'm not sure that they can run it in on this Cleveland defense. I think they might need to go to the passing game. Now, they might punch it in there. I might be wrong, but I'm thinking that it's probably best to try to throw the football here, as stout as Cleveland's been up front today.
And Cleveland just subbed in 2 defensive backs. They may be thinking what you're thinking. Bootleg. Going for Robinson, and he just threw that one away. That was well covered. Mike Adams is all over it.
Well, this is where you miss Marshawn Lynch. Because if you've got Marshawn Lynch, you've got the ball on the 3-yard line or the 2-yard line, you say, okay, if I give it to him 3 straight times, he's probably going to get in the end zone. Now they're coming with their 3 wide receiver package, bringing in Washington, and that's something you need to be careful now. How do you get this guy covered coming out of the backfield when there's only 2.5 yards to go for a touchdown?
And the dog pound starts up.
I'm scratching my head up here.
The noise, 3rd and goal. Through the hands of Moore, and Moore wants a flag. He won't get it.
No.
T.J. Ward is all over it.
No penalty on that one, big fella. That was just well-played defense.
They tried to run a little pick there.
Nah, Ward does a nice job of just getting his hand in the pocket. You know, everyone always says, hey, you got to look back for the ball. That's face guarding. There is no such thing as face guarding. As long as you don't make contact, you don't have to look back. That was just a well-played ball.
This is Hauschka, 20 yards out. He puts it through, and we've got a tie game here in Cleveland. So with time winding down here in the 3rd quarter, the Seahawks with a big play, Sidney Rice coming up in a busted coverage, and are able to get 3.
I talked about face guarding. If you stop it right there, stop it. All right, he can put his hand, he can put both hands up here. He can wave them around. He can do whatever he wants as long as he's not making contact. Now, there's a little contact on the arm there, but not enough to draw a flag. He just played that well. Ward played that route well. He put his hand right in the pocket, right where the ball is going to be thrown, and he makes a play on it. But that's not a penalty. And anyone thinks that, well, face guarding is not a penalty. Now, if he'd contacted him and not been looking at the ball, that's a different story. That's a different story.
So both teams started out very rough. 6 penalties in the first few minutes of the 1st quarter. Ball switched hands back and forth. A lot of 3-and-outs. The Browns on the board early in the first half, but not able to do anything since that time.
You know, the Browns early in the 3rd quarter, they had a couple drives that looked like they might be getting something going, but then they'd get to 3rd down and they'd falter, they'd take a sack, or they'd have a negative play on a penalty. And that's kind of been the story for them today, but they've done some good things in the 3rd quarter. They just haven't been able to sustain it.
Gribbs is going to take this one about 6 yards deep. Hit, spins, goes down at the 18-yard line. Don't forget, coming up, America's Game of the Week, Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers head to Minnesota. Well, that's a fierce rivalry now. Christian Ponder with the first start for the Vikings. Or you'll see the Rams and the Cowboys from Big D. A.J. Feely with the start there. How about Rodgers' completion percentage?
I guess that's pretty good, huh?
You're a football guy, right? You tell me how good it is.
Wow, he's something else. I said this a few weeks ago when we were doing their game. I don't know that there's a player in any sport right now that's playing their position at a higher level than Aaron Rodgers is playing quarterback.
Even Albert Pujols?
Last night was pretty special.
Nice spin move there, Hardesty. Hawthorne cleans him up. A pickup of 5. Guy starting to mix it up a little bit.
Big Red will mix it up now. Okay, that's an emotional player right there. Look at the stand. I love the little 4-point frog stance.
What do you call it, a frog stance?
Frog stance. Watch him here just at the end of the play. Just throw Smith off. Just get off me. big, powerful man right there. He's having trouble getting lined up right now. He needs to line up.
Boy, they are just taking tackling practice on Hardesty. He got 2.
You know, I said the frog stance, and this isn't the greatest angle, but he gets both hands. You can't see the other hand right there on the ground. It's kind of a 4-point stance. Normally you tell a guy in a stance to get a little bit of his weight forward. Red doesn't have his weight forward right here. Okay, you could go up and you could knock both hands off from under him and he wouldn't go down. He's got his weight back. Probably so he can get his head up. And this is a big man.
323. You know what that reminded me?
He's 323. He hadn't seen that in years.
That's what it says on the depth chart. He reminds me, that stance reminded me of the old Randy White flex defense stance. Back in the day for us old guys. There's a throw and a completion. Smith right in between the numbers, and Smith gets up fired up. And that's a first down for the Browns. A pickup of 13.
Let's go back to Red. All right, here's Big Red. There's those 2 hands on the ground right there. But Red has really developed into a good football player. Early in his career, he struggled. You know, he was out of shape, and he just didn't quite have what you need. But Gus is stuck with him. Bradley, you know, he's well coached. He's a hard-working, emotional guy. He's the kind of guy you pull for. And now all of a sudden, he's becoming a really good football player.
Time winding down here, boy.
Well, speaking of good football players, that kid that just made that play, KJ Wright,
like him, yeah.
I like him a lot. I was talking to Kenny Norton, the linebacker coach, who I happened to coach back in San Francisco. He said, this guy's special. You watch him on film, in no way does he look like a rookie. He does not play like a rookie.
4th round pick this year out of Mississippi State, and that is the end of the 3rd quarter. 3-3 tie, 4th coming up. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after a break from your local Fox station. We start the 4th quarter here in Cleveland. Ron Pitts, Jim Mora, Andrea Avent down on the sidelines. It's a 3-3 game. The Browns got on the board first. Phil Dawson with a 52-yarder in the first half. Hauschka just hit a 20-yarder. They couldn't get the ball in after a nice throw and catch there. Sidney Rice on the other end of that. The Seahawks with their first 8 drives, 67 yards, no points. The last drive, 60 yards. They're able to tie the game with 3 points. This is a 2nd and 11. Pressure backside, ball comes out, it's complete. That's the tight end Moore.
You know, really a nice job by McCoy there getting rid of that thing. That's scat protection, okay? That means we're going to keep 5 in, we're going to get 5 out, and if somebody comes free, if somebody comes unblocked, it's up to our quarterback now to get rid of it right now. And Colt McCoy there did a great job of getting the ball out of his hands quickly. He took the hit, all right, which is going to happen sometimes, but he got the ball down the field, and now they got a 3rd and manageable, and they're 50% today on 3rd down, which is impressive against one of the better 3rd down defenses in the league.
And that scat protection, the quarterback's got to beat one. Sometimes it means a hit. There's another one. There's a throw outside. That's complete to Obignaya. Obignaya has got the first down. He gave Thomas a ride. That's a pickup of 7. A key block there by John Greco.
Key block and great effort, too. You know, you got David Hawthorne coming free up the middle. You got the really nice block on the edge right here on Cam Chancellor. And then the second effort to get the ball out there and just squeal enough out of it away from Earl Thomas to keep the sticks moving. And they've done hey, they're 9 of 17 on 3rd down. And against this defense, that's pretty darn impressive. So, hey, there's a positive for you about
I like
this
when
offense.
you go into coach mode. Do you know you bend your knees?
Really?
Yeah, you get in the hitting
I
stance.
did when I was playing. I know that.
All day long, Hardesty, second play to the right side, and another Browns first down. That's 16. Let's go out to Los Angeles. Update, here's Kurt Menefee.
And another Calvin Johnson touchdown. Off the play fake, he hooks up with Matthew Stafford for his league-leading 10th touchdown reception of the year. The only thing that didn't go right, he kind of fumbled a slam dunk, but that's okay. With both lines closer, 2016 in the 4th quarter with the Falcons. Ron and Jim.
Boy, the Lions in another dogfight at home. Megatron with the solid numbers.
I'll say this, all right, for the Cleveland offense, they are only averaging, what a carry, 3 yards a carry, but they're going to keep hitting it in there. They keep hitting it up in there. You got to like that. I mean, they're going to stick with the run. And you know what?
You show me how you bend his knees.
Knee bend, when you play football, you're supposed to play with your knees bent. I was never knee bent. I was a waist bender. Okay?
So was I.
Yeah, and that's why I never played.
And that's why I'm up here now, because I couldn't bend at the knees. And now the knees don't work at all.
You don't want to be a waist bender.
No.
I was a waist bender. Here comes pressure.
Chancellor misses, but the main goal is achieved, and McCoy is busted up. He gets up real slow with the help of a teammate. But Chancellor, he's been active coming around the corner all day.
You know what he does a heck of a job of, is timing up his blitzes.
Yeah.
And they're bringing 2 DBs off the edge right there, and they've got one back to protect. The guard can't kick out and get it, and this is a really well-designed scheme by Gus Bradley. And Cam Chancellor, his timing is impeccable on his blitzes. Besides being a big physical tackler, the guy can blitz. I like this kid.
That's technically called a sack. That is the 4th sack today on McCoy. And they'll give it technically to Red Bryant. Nope. The crowd wants the flag. They're not going to get it. That ball intended for Brian Robisky. Sherman on the coverage. Ball tipped coming out.
You'll see the ball coming out here getting tipped right there, and that's enough to throw it off trajectory, and that's also enough that they're not going to call PI down the field.
53, officially 52 for Dawson. Boy, nice little draw on that one. The tie is broken. 6-3. Thank goodness for field goal kickers today.
Today's game is sponsored by Corona Extra, who invites you to find your beach, by Chevrolet and their award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers, and by Farmers Insurance. See how your local agent can save you money. We are insurance. We are farmers.
Captain Cleveland.
I love the look the fan in the lower left is giving him.
Look at the moves.
She's not sure what to think of that dance.
Let me ask you this. When you get up in the morning and you put that outfit on, you just go, dang, I look good. Aren't fans great? I mean, this is what makes our game
I think
great.
You have to say that when you put that uniform
But
on.
it's awesome. I mean, guys, they say, you know what, they're uninhibited. Let's go watch some football, man. It's awesome.
That field goal officially marked 53. First time ever in the career that Dawson has hit 2 50-plus field goals in the game. And Washington hit hard, spun around. They'll mark it at about the 21-yard line. 11 minutes, 11 seconds, 3-point game, and Cleveland. Go ahead, get excited, Pat. That's about all you're going to get.
Well, you know, we talk about the lack of running game. One of the reasons that you got Peyton Hillis over here and Marshawn Lynch over here, 2 of the best runners in the league. Neither of them playing. Now, we knew Hillis wasn't going to play, but the late scratch of Marshawn Lynch, you have to say, has affected this Seattle offense.
Pressure picked up by Washington, and that's complete outside to Mora. The Browns trying to get out of the AFC North cellar. They're in last place at 2-3, behind 4-2, 4-2, 4-1. That would be Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, and Baltimore in that order.
Hey, whoa.
Empty backfield. That'll be a quick throw. There it is. Nice job. The man we talked about earlier, the playmaker, Joe Hayden.
Boy, he sniffed that out. He was a rolled up corner, which means he was responsible for the flat there. And he saw it and he jumped it. This guy is a very good football player. They're certainly happy to have him back today.
You know, he had a bad back coming out of college, didn't have a good combine, ran a slow time. A lot of people stayed away from him, but the Browns didn't. They picked him number 7 overall last year out of Florida, and he brings a type of energy that they can't afford to be without. Four-man rush. No place to go with the football. Sidney Rice screaming, where is the penalty? Mike Adams almost had the pick. That'll bring on the punt team for Seattle.
Watch Rice here as he moves up the field. Oh,
yes.
Boy, Sheldon gets away with one there. That's the old veteran move. You use that, Ronnie. Grab the waist to pull yourself into position. Sidney Rice certainly had a point there. A couple of calls here today against Seattle that affected this game.
7th punt today for Ryan. Not a good one. Cribbs will try to get this one on the roll if he can get to it. Picks it up. Makes one miss. Somehow squirms about 3 yards out of it. 49 yards on the punt, 8 yards on the return. Still 3-point game, 9:54 here in the fourth.
Today's game is sponsored by Chevrolet and their award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers.
The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame adjacent to the stadium here in Cleveland, a beautiful place. And a nice little complex here between the museum and the fairly new stadium here.
They got the Women of Rock display.
Yeah.
Remember, Hart's from Seattle. There's some women in rock.
1st and 10 throw. We've seen these short patterns all day long.
This last drive now, McCoy took some shots. They've got to do a better job of protecting him, and then he's got to do a better job of protecting himself. I appreciate the grit that this kid shows. He's tough. He's hard-nosed. Like we said off broadcast, he's a winner. But, boy, you still got to keep him upright.
That one good 5 yards to Greg Little. Shift to a 2 tight end set. Hardesty, boy, Hardesty, I hope he's got plenty of air in his helmet. Chancellor coming up. Clemens is there. And Colt McCoy, you talk about his work ethic, what type of winner he is. He called up Brett Favre in the offseason down there in Kiln, Mississippi, and said, hey, Brett, can I come down and spend a couple days with you? And of course, good old Brett said, yeah, come on down tonight. He didn't come down that night, but he came down there and spent some time with Brett trying to learn that offense, that West Coast offense that Favre had mastered under.
Well, he'll get it.
Holmgren.
He's got a little ways to go. He's got a long ways to go, but he'll get it. You know, this kid, like you said, great work ethic, good decision maker. You
There's
see
another
right
one
there, accurate. It's just going to take some time. Listen, give the guy a chance. This is his 14th start. He's a young kid in this league. People need to every once in a while take a breath, recognize the situation, and give a kid a chance. This guy's going to be a very good player.
Evan Moore for 9.
I'll tell you one thing about the Seattle defense, and this is good for Colt. They have created some tight windows because they are all over these receivers. There's not a lot of openings to throw into.
That one opened up nicely, good enough for a first. Man-to-man coverage. Turned down. Should have been caught. Greg Little dropped.
You know, we said this earlier in the game, is when you're a college quarterback, guys are open all over. Everyone's open, all right? The windows are big. When I talk about windows, I'm talking about the area between the defenders that you can throw the ball into. And everybody's open in college. But when you get to the National Football League, if a guy looks open, by the time you throw it, he's covered. You got to throw it when he's covered, anticipating that he's going to get open. And that is a hard transition for young quarterbacks to make.
Flag. Movement.
False start. Offense number 80. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's Brian Robisky, the
89.
wide. Excuse me, they just checked it. That's Evan Moore. He said 80, but he checked it to Evan Moore. Don't forget, coming up after the games, after the OT on Fox, We've got game number 4 of the World Series down in Arlington. Should be another good one. The Rangers and the Cardinals.
These situations kill a young emerging offense. When you get behind in a series, 2nd and 15, you're just off schedule.
Draw 2nd and 15, and that's an off-schedule call.
Yeah, and now you got a 3rd and 11 against a really good 3rd down defense. Now, they've had success on 3rd down today, but these 3rd and longs are tough. And you see that. You see that a lot with young teams. You know, these are 2 very young teams that we're seeing today, Seattle and Cleveland, 2 of the younger teams in the NFL. And so you see some mistakes. Like you see false starts. You see guys covering the tight end in alignment, illegal formation things, these pre-snap penalties that put you off schedule. And now all of a sudden you find yourself in 3rd and long at a critical juncture of the game. Here comes pressure again.
Man-to-man coverage across the board. McCoy somehow gets out of the pocket. Still going, and he's got a first down. That's a huge play.
Well, that's what you're talking about when you say Colt McCoy is a winner, because that was an ugly-looking play. It wasn't protected well. Nobody got open, and Colt McCoy makes something of nothing. And when you talk to guys, they say, this guy's a winner. You try to describe, what do you mean? That's what you mean, a guy that makes something out of nothing to move his team along.
He made something out of nothing to the tune of 13 yards. Bunch of missed tackles in there. But the guy is a lot better in the pocket, and we mentioned this earlier, and his feet are a lot better than people like to give him credit for.
There's Big Red coming down the line again.
Red Bryant, again, frog or no frog. That's a great play, no gain. Out to Los Angeles, and an update. Here's Kurt Menefee.
The Jets take the lead for the first time today against San Diego. Mark Sanchez hooking up with Plexico Burris again. Burris' second 3-touchdown game of his career puts New York up by 3 at home against the Chargers. Ron and Jim.
Chargers up top in their division 4-1, but the Jets are starting to fall behind, 3-3 behind Buffalo with a hot start, and the Patriots at 5-1. 2nd and 10 call, cutback play. Hardesty getting through there. They'll call it 6. Don't forget, coming up after this one, America's Game of the Week. Most of you will see Green Bay and Minnesota. Or you'll see the Rams and the Cowboys. It's all followed up after that, after the OT, with more baseball. Game 4 of the World Series coming up down in Arlington. Everybody bringing out the big bats. Feels like that one's about whose pitching staff can last. Right now, the Browns trying to run this clock and hold on to the 3-point lead. 3rd and 4. It's wide open for Obignaya, and he's got another first. Seahawks have been solid all day up front, but now they're starting to get worn down a little bit. A pickup of 6.
Well, what happened there, Ronnie, is this. This is a really good call. You got a 3-man front on 3rd down. You got Leroy Hill moving over here to play man. 2 linebackers. You can't see the other one, but Hawthorne. And when you get into that 3-man front like that, and you're in a pass rush mode, and the team runs an off tackle or counter play like they just, it's really tough to defend. Now, I think what happened there is they knew by substitution that the Seahawks were going to be in that 3-man line, and they dialed up a nice run. Another nice run.
This one breaks for Hardesty. Ooh, as he planted, but he's got the first down. A good run and a great hit by Chancellor.
Just a lead play up inside, and what happens, the linebacker comes up and takes it on with the wrong shoulder. Supposed to send it back to David Hawthorne, doesn't, so there's a crease. Sometimes when you play as much 8-man front as Seattle's doing, and you play it very, very well, if one guy in that front takes a block on the wrong way, all of a sudden you've got a gap. What Seattle's been outstanding at doing all year defensively is playing discipline. On that play, they lost a little discipline.
Hardesty, 29 carries, 88 yards, a career high. And he'll tack on to that. We talked about earlier the Seahawks defense being on the field for a lot of plays. 77 defensive plays.
Well, you know what, and I said it earlier in the 3rd quarter, Ronnie, that I appreciated the way Cleveland was running the football. And now, you know what? It's starting to have an effect.
A timeout called by Seattle right before we went to break, and mainly because of this guy. Last year, he sustained a serious knee injury in the preseason finale, ended up on the injured reserve list the entire season. Put up some good numbers at Tennessee. So everything he's doing now is kind of a first look. People don't know too much about him, haven't seen a whole lot from him. That's Hardesty again, hit hard at the line of scrimmage. Leroy Hill is there. Another timeout by Seattle. They have one left.
You look at the 31 carries now that Hardesty has. He only has 92 yards rushing on 31 carries, so he's at 3.0 a carry. But
right.
Their willingness to keep pounding it. Okay, their willingness to recognize that their passing game is not where it's going to be eventually, and just keep stuffing it up in there against a really good run defense has kind of been the story of this game for me. You know, they haven't had a lot of success running the football in any particular play, but their willingness to just keep running the football, depending on the Cleveland defense to keep Seattle off the board. Now, you talk about a critical down in the football game. When you get in a game like this, a 3-point game, you got a third down here and third down and 5. If Cleveland can convert this and go in and score, this game's essentially out of reach. But if they have to kick a field goal here, Seattle's one play away, one drive away from winning this game.
Third and 6. Obadiah drives his feet. He didn't get it. That's not even close.
You know, here's what I do like and don't like about that call. What I do like about it is the fact that Seattle had to use their third timeout.
That's exactly right.
So now they don't have a timeout, but there's still, there's over 3 minutes left on the clock, and the clock's going to stop at the 2-minute, and 3 minutes is enough time for just about any offense in the league, even one that's not playing well today, to go down and score.
I'm glad you put that disclaimer in there, because the way the Seahawks have played today offensively, with the exception of the one drive, the one play there to Sidney Rice, they haven't had chunks.
I agree, but they've still got Sidney Rice.
That's right.
Okay, and he's a good player. They've still got Doug Baldwin, who we haven't talked about. They've still got Mike Williams, who last year was an outstanding player, has had trouble getting on track because of injuries and other things this year. Now, what I don't like about that call right there, is you essentially are saying we're not capable of getting into the end zone. Or maybe you're saying, and probably what you're saying if you're Pat Shurmur, is that our defense is good enough to win it if we've got a 6-point lead.
2 already today from 50+ for Dawson. This is from 24. Blocked. Special teams, huge for Seattle. And again, Red Bryant with his second block field goal attempt of the day.
I've been tooting Red's horn all day, but I'm going to switch it on you here. That's inexcusable, That is inexcusable for that to happen again. I don't care if it's a low kick, a high kick, it doesn't matter. For them to let Red Bryant get in there again, right there, to let Red Bryant get in again, and that one, I'm sorry, Red was right there. That is
They
awful.
couldn't even hold him.
That's awful. I mean, that's awful. That's not about Red and his effort. That's about poor play up front. I mean, that's there, and that guy who ducked his head down. Can't see his number, I'd tell you his name, but that's bad. Now all of a sudden, Seattle, boy, they got some life, and all they got to do is get a field goal, and this thing goes to overtime. That's bad ball by Cleveland right there. There's no excuse for that, especially coming off of the special teams breakdowns they had last week. Wow.
Seattle's ball, 1st and 10. The comeback looking for Williams. And that's a throw out of bounds. Well covered. 2nd and 10.
Well, this Cleveland defense has been outstanding today in all areas. They've done a tremendous job against the run. They've put pressure on the quarterback. They've played well in the secondary. What's most impressive to me as a guy who coaches secondary is the way they're playing level. You know, they understand where their help is, and therefore they're getting guys covered up on both sides.
Dick Geron, defensive coordinator, taking over from Rob Ryan. Got his defense dialed up pretty well. In trouble. Whitehurst throws. Was he out of the pocket? That's the question. Chris Gokong with the pressure. No timeouts for the Seahawks. If you just turn this game on, you're probably thinking, what's the big deal? They're just 3 points from a tie, but neither team has been able to move the ball down the field effectively all game long. Throw inside,
No!
And there goes the flag. They're going to get Joe Hayden. Intended for Sidney Rice.
They got him with, he had it covered up, Ronnie, and he took the right hand and he grabs the waist. Watch him here on the slant. Really nice move by Rice. And he's okay till right there.
Defense number 23 from the spot.
That's a touchy call now. You can touch the guy,
First down.
but you can't impede his ability to go catch the football. But you know what? I think the Seahawks deserve a call. They've had a couple of tough calls that haven't gone their way.
Well, you saw him grab the jersey. That would attract my attention faster than anything. The hand around the waist, sometimes you can get away with that. But when they see that jersey.
Look, he's up there again, man. I'm a prep.
And they're going at him. That's an overthrow. Harden might have a chance to get it. Excuse me, Hayden, but he can't quite make the play. Intended again for Rice.
You know, you might say, well, why take a shot now? Okay, well, here's what. You got Sidney Rice, who's a big-time deep threat. Got great speed. You got a corner up and bump and run, playing man-to-man coverage with the safety in the middle. Gets off the release clean. Now take a shot. See if you can't get a chunk play.
Quick screen. And a vicious hit. How about that? Hayden covering, then coming up, putting the wood on Washington.
Good football player. Sidney Rice did a really nice job downfield blocking him. Had his gloves on him, had him bottled up, and Hayden fought off of that thing and put the lick on Washington. Watch the block down the field here. Watch the block right there. Get off him. Lays the wood.
Washington, nice play, got 5, got out of bounds, stopped the clock. Drop.
And that's
Ben Obamanu.
Yeah, and you know what? Ben is a sure-handed guy, and he's been a really good receiver for these guys this year. But, you know, to be great, you got to make the clutch catches at the clutch times. And when you are struggling on offense, I've said this a couple times today, and you got a young quarterback, or not young, but a new quarterback, you got to help him out. You help him by just making those routine catches to keep the sticks moving.
4th down.
You're going to get a 3-man rush here. Nope.
The throw, it's caught, but a flag is down. The reception is good by Baldwin, but let's check this flag, and it's going against Seattle.
Pass interference. Offense, number 15. 10-yard penalty. It's still 4th down.
Went against the guy who made the catch.
Well, he runs a pivot route, Ronnie, which means he releases down inside hard. Watch him here. He's going to release down inside hard against man-to-man coverage here. And then, well, that's not much of a push-off. The problem is that the defender fell. Wow. I don't know about that, but, I mean, I can understand what the, do you think I'm pro-defense here?
No, you're all right.
I can understand what the officials saw. But when you have the luxury of replay and slowing it down, I don't know if there was much there. Look how deep, you can't see it, but linebackers are lined up 10 yards deep for Cleveland.
Double covered, incomplete. That one didn't have a chance. Intended for Mike Williams, but guess who? Joe Hayden is in the area along with 2 others, and that's a turnover on downs.
Ronnie, this is about the worst offensive performance I've seen in a long time. And 136 total yards is just not acceptable at this level, regardless of who's playing quarterback. And I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that Marshawn Lynch was a late scratch from this game, because I think for Seattle to be effective offensively, they've got to be balanced, and they've got to have that guy in beast mode pounding people, which opened things up in the pass game, and he wasn't there for them today, and they had a horrible day.
And the Seahawks, they've got talent on the outside, on the perimeters, as we say, but you look at the list here, there's the stats: 2 catches for Rice, 2 for Mora, 1 for Tate, 1 for Williams. That's not going to get it done.
Well, and remember now, Cameron Mora, he just was activated. All right, he's had 3 days of practice. But I still think a lot of it goes back to not having Marshawn Lynch. And then another thing, let's not fail to give the Cleveland Browns credit for playing outstanding defense. They came into this game ranked 7th in the National Football League in total defense, and we're seeing the reason why. They are sound. They're fundamentally sound. They play fast. They don't make mistakes. They're really a good defense.
That's the 2-minute warning.
That's the 2-minute warning.
Browns trying to go to 500. Oh, and give the credit to that man there on the right. That's Dick Charon. Spent last year as the Eagles defensive back coach. Came over here to head up the defense. It's funny, he said he was talking about Marshawn Lynch. He drafted Marshawn Lynch in Buffalo when he was the head coach.
He loves Marshawn Lynch. Couldn't say enough good things about him. Just hard runner, tough, got to take him to the ground every play. And I'm sure there was no one in this stadium happier that Marshawn was a late scratch than Dick Duran.
And a look at the total plays, boy. That's Cleveland's offensive plays at 80. Now that means that the Seahawks were on the field for that many plays defensively, and that's a lot.
Let me ask you something here, Ronnie. Strategically, all right, unless they get a first down here, all right, they're going to have to make a decision. Do we kick a field goal? We've had 2 blocked, or do we go for it and just bank on our defense winning it for us?
3rd and 7, pressure. McCoy protecting the ball. That's smart. Thomas coming off the edge.
Now they can run 36, 35, 34. They can run some time off the clock here. Flag. This is big. Looks like it's
Personal foul.
Oh.
Defense, number 98.
All game.
Headbutt at the end of the play, and he is ejected.
Oh, boy, that's...
Well,
automatic first down.
that's
wow. That's
Number
basically
79 is
game.
ejected.
I mean, as well as Bryant has played all day long,
yep.
to have it in like that is unfortunate.
Ronnie, this guy is emotional, and he's young. He let his emotions get the best of him. He's played a really fine football game today, and goodness sakes, Red, he'll learn. Oh, you can't do that, man.
And Smith baited him into it, and he fell for it.
Yeah.
2 blocked field goals, a ton of tackles, a ton of plays in the backfield by Bryant. 3 tackles to be exact, and it just has to end like that. We said going to break there at halftime, thank goodness for field goal kickers. It's been all about the kickers. Phil Dawson with 2 50-yard field goals.
Let me ask you this, Ronnie. Do you think that there'll be more points scored in tonight's World Series game or in this game here? What's the over-under on that?
Last night.
Huh?
There were last night. And for Seattle, no loss is a good loss by any means, but that would push them to 2-4. And they are desperately trying to keep pace with the surprise San Francisco 49ers, leading the division out there in the NFC West at 5-1. 40% or 40 minutes on the time of possession for the Cleveland Browns versus 17 for the Seahawks.
Couple reasons for that. Number 1, running the football and sticking with the run, and number 2, great defense.
That's the final here. The Browns with the win. Let's take it to the AT&T Game Break Show in Los Angeles.